If you live in Europe, you recently realized that climate change do have an impact. For decades, scientists were talking about 2050, how bad it's gonna be when we finally warm the Earth. But then many realized it's actually gonna start affecting us way sooner, like right now. A fun example is this weather report from France.
Madame, Monsieur, bonsoir.
The host shows over-exaggerated temperatures, spreading awareness of how the future might be in the year 2050. Turns out it's more like the report from 2026. We can't escape the heat, it's too late. Summers are gonna be this way from now on. But we can still mitigate it, because each fraction of a degree that we can avoid is a huge change. And there are many ways to make us cooler already, all involving some sort of technology of some kind. But let's look at an easier solution. In this video we won't speak about crazy technology to protect us from the heat, but how we can live alongside our friends the plants to survive the next heat waves. As I just said, the heat waves of summer 2026 were terrible. Over Europe, many countries saw huge death tolls. The World Weather Attribution said it was one of the most severe over the region, and that explaining its intensity without mentioning climate change would be impossible. Obviously, this affected people mainly, but our ecosystem as well, and it shows how unprepared we really are in case of a climate apocalypse. People rushed to buy ACs, electricity price spiked, and living conditions dropped. Except all of this happened especially in city centers. Around the countryside, people were still warm but not dying as much. And the reason for that is really simple. I'm actually not gonna go that much into details because it's already pretty known. It's called the heat island effect. In summary, cities are warmer because of their incapacity to cool themselves because of many criteria. And one of the simplest ways to fix that is to put more greeneries in a city. You have two sorts of heat island effect. Surface heat islands, when surface absorbs and then emits the heat in a city, mainly done by pavement or rooftops, and atmospheric heat islands, the fact that the surrounding air is not being cooled down by greeneries or washed away by wind, because of the lack of trees or huge and narrow buildings. And there are many ways to mitigate those two. For example, in cities now, there are all these office buildings trying to look cool, building fully in glass, metal or concrete painted black. A black roof only reflects 5% of the sun's energy and emits over 90% of the heat it absorbs, literally heating your house through the roof. A metal one reflects 60% of the energy and emits 25% of the heat. Better still, but not good. You spend so much electricity and money into your AC just for your roof to reach up to more than 60 degrees on hot days. Roofs on average reach about 60 degrees, but by having plants, this can be decreased to about 25 degrees. This is not only the case for rooftops, but also facades, pavement, and basically the whole city. We can't just not use those areas and let them heat up and make heat waves even worse. But let's start with the easiest to actually adapt: roofs. One of the main purposes of having a green roof is that it will insulate your house better. With bad insulation, during winter you lose your warmth, and during summer your roof is boiling you alive. Greeneries on your roof or even a layer of plants will already improve the living condition inside your place, but it can have many other effects outside as well. Drainage, for example. Normally, networks of pipes are supposed to deliver water runoff outside the city, but because cities are always getting bigger and bigger, around 75% of that water is just running off into urban areas. Having a green roof will also double, if not triple, the life expectancy of your rooftop. Because usually your roof gets attacked by many things at the same time: rain, UV light, temperature fluctuation, and so on. A green roof effectively absorbs those and protects your roof. A green roof can also increase the air quality around your house or building. According to a study, they even help reduce 37 of sulfur dioxide, 21% of nitrous acids, and 200 grams of dust particles per square meter each year. And they can host many different species. In Switzerland, for example, they surveyed 11 different green roofs and found more than 172 species. The problem with green roof is the weight. Not all building can support having a garden on its roof. Some buildings are gonna require extra support or better structural support for the roof to be installed. Depending on your roof, having a green roof can add between 50 to 200 kilo per meter square. Most of the flat roof normally can sustain it, but inclined way less. And there is an easy solution that is lightweight and give almost all the same benefits as a green roof, and that is moss roof. They are ideal for roof with building constraint, and the cost is lower. The moss mats are pretty easy to transport and to install. They are low maintenance, no need for fertilization, pesticides or watering, and they're often installed with a retention layer under to hold rainwater. And they also have incredible insulating capabilities, and even if your roof is under shade, you just need to choose different type of moss. They also absorb and retain pollutant and carbon dioxide, cleaning the surrounding air. And all of this requires a bit less than 4 centimeters to grow. Normally, between 6 to 12 months, everything will have grown. So there's really no reason to not have a green roof, except if it's to make space for solar panels. But you could even have both, as long as you take care of the weight and the greeneries are not in front of the solar panels. And people are already making this switch to green roof. When people think about green roof, it's often a big building in a center, but this guy proved it was ideal anywhere. His name is Luis Cassiano Silva. He lives in the favela and created Teto Verde favela. And so far, it works. He managed to have 15 degrees reduction in his room temperature compared to his neighbor's house. And now he works to help other people in the favelas to convert their roof into a useful green rooftop. And just like that, your roof now insulates your house. Facades act exactly the same way. If you have vegetation, it can lower the temperature of the area by 2 degrees and improve the air quality. And the plant will also shade the facade of the sun, which can reduce the daily temperature of a building by up to 50%. The plant will also remove carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide and other toxins from the air. And a green wall will act as a noise canceller and absorb sound, which is a must in a city center. But something that is not often thought about is that they increase the value property of a building. It makes the building look better and it makes it stand out. That's why nowadays you see many hotels, restaurants, spas, bars installing climbing plants or green walls. It makes your place look better and more attractive to people, bringing you more clients or raising your property value. Greeneries on a wall also reduce the surface temperature by up to 10 degrees, and ultimately all of this saves you money. Anyone owning an AC and paying the electricity bill knows how much it costs. And green walls also clean the surrounding dust, which improve air quality and reduce respiratory illnesses. This works for green walls, but once again, if you don't have the money to invest into a green wall or an installation, there is an alternative that is easier to grow and install: climbing plants. Only issues around climbing plants is to be careful for your walls, so check what type of climbing plants you want to install and check for the eventual problem it could cause, or you could grow moss once again. This is all to be installed by the individual, but some cities actually do help people install them to make the city look better and to help people lower their bill, like Mons in Wallonia. If you live in the center of Mons, you just need to choose which plant you want to grow and the city will give it to you for free and help you install it on your facade. All of this after the city successfully voted and elected a majority: Greens, Socialists and Marxists together. And graffiti. Yes, graffiti. There are many factors that make people paint over walls. And to reduce this, just making it illegal is not really working. But something that usually works is to put an art piece on a wall. Street artists, I say artists, not those bullshit, are not gonna paint over another painting. But how can you paint on top of this? The plant is just protecting the wall. And finally, there is one more thing that we need to make more green: the streets. The paving is more than necessary for many cities. Trees provide shade and can make the surface up to 25 degrees cooler than an unshaded one. And most importantly, trees cool the city and the air through evapotranspiration. Parks actually do that. During the day they cool the air, and during the night they can't retain heat like concrete, so they will just cool themselves. To fight urban heat island effect, we need the park cool island effect. This creates a sort of breeze of cold that passes through the city and cooling the entire neighborhood they're in. I truly believe that this way cities can feel way better than how they feel now. We really need to make our roof greener, our facade greener, our street greener, but also our politics. But be careful, because we are talking about appearances as well. Often green buildings are greenwashing. Just having greeneries on a building doesn't make it solar punk. There are many other things that we need to think about. For example, the material we build with. I spoke about that in this video. We really need to chill out with concrete. And how we design cities. For example, how zoning laws affect a city. But once we clean our cities, make them green and start mixing nature and human life, I truly believe life in city can be way better. High-rise building and big car have been the sign of success for way too long. Those fiction that movies and capitalism fed us need to be overthrown. Because after all, would you rather live in a city like this or like this? Thank you for watching this video. Sadly, as you saw, it was only voice, because my place got broken into and they stole my camera. But vacation is over, I'm back making videos, and so if you don't want to miss anything, subscribe and ring the bell. And really don't hesitate to join my Patreon. Join my Patreon for free and you'll get access to my videos on a podcast form, so you can listen to it in the bus or in the train. But if you join as a supporter, you'll get early access to videos, short yap session and updates about future videos, and plant-based recipes that I like to share. Thank you to all my Patreon supporters, Zelpha, Greeneggs&ham, Gábor Pinterics, Alex Moores, Krzysztof Krysiak, and to all the ones following me for free. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.